won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters. And we ain't got nothing to hide, we move forward like soldiers.
What up, and welcome into Pregaming here on the Sports Money Network here at 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. We break it down like a pound. We go through cash flow, line splits, injury updates, trends and angles, weather analysis. Although college basketball, there ain't too much weather to analyze. So, excuse me, I'm choking with my excitement and enthusiasm to be here, sharing my action with you guys here this evening. I've got plenty of plays here. We've got 8. I might add a 9th here. Lehigh and Navy, UAB and Temple, Oklahoma and Tennessee, Maryland and Northwestern, St. John's and Marquette, BYU and Arizona. The late card looks really great tonight. Zags in San Francisco, Colorado State and UNLV, just to name a few. Congratulations of those of you that cashed with me on Finland USA parlay. It was square, but it was like minus 105. And I said it yesterday. I couldn't have broken it down any better. Those naysayers and haters that were talking about how all these bad teams, about dummies. You know, let me share with you guys a adage. And it's about strategy. You have to ask yourself, where do you fall in the spectrum of, not the spectrum, not that spectrum, the spectrum of strategy? Are you a strategic mindset? To a hammer, everything looks like a nail. And with that being said, wise man once said, Confucius once said, to a hammer, everything looks like a nail. Smack it, smack it, smack it, smack it, smack it. And, you know, listen, you're expecting big hockey games out there when you watch France play fucking Italy, and that's just foolish. Them boys got ready to go. It's truncated down to the best teams that were out there. And 3 of the games today went to overtime. So what more could you ask for? Exciting hockey right down to the end. You'd almost think it was fixed the way all those games went to OT. I'll be honest, I was hoping Canada would lose. Sorry to my Canadian brethren. I was excited. My buddies and I were texting like, oh man, they might go down now. Much like the Canadians cheat at curling, the Czechs cheated on that power play, or on that goal that they scored to go ahead. They had 6 men on the ice. So, Paul and Boats says, why do you have commercials on your live show? Paul and Boats, because we got to find a way to pay the bills, my guy. There's all kinds of ways to contribute to the show. You can become a member of Sports Money, help us keep the lights on, help us pay for all the overhead. Or we make 10 cents off of YouTube because we don't have enough members in the green. So, in all fairness, that's a real answer. I'm in a real truthful mood, my dude. And look, there's a lot of different ways to support the Sports Money crew out there. We give you guys a lot of free content, lots of free plays, lots of live sports videos. But be real with you, man. That's what it comes down to here is, albeit it might be 2 cents that we make on those videos, those commercials. But they add up. And I go through the litany of bills that it takes to post a programming daily content show. And it includes all the applications, all the software, all the technology, everything that we utilize here at Sports Money to bring you guys a graphically rich environment, tools, technology that we use to help you guys find trends and angles. We want to load share. We don't want you to have to go out there and buy programs and try to do it yourself. We want to help you do it, and we want to share the cost amongst the community. And then, frankly, $4.99 a month, you become a bronze level member. We give you extra plays as well throughout the week and the weekend. You get some of the best bets that are going on out there. Just a little way to say thanks for supporting the Sports Money cause. And I'm excited because, yes, rebranded Ramon's graphics here. Got a little tweaking to do, a little fine tuning to get his graphics back up and rolling the way that he expects it to be. Also rebranded the Betting the Board show. College basketball Saturdays. Don't sleep on us. I went 14-5 last Saturday with the show plays that I gave out here to you guys, all free. Didn't ask you for anything. Just show up, be here at 11 a.m. And we're going to try to be done by 12 today, this Saturday, 11 to 12. Great overhaul, I think, for the UFC. I think you guys will like the new graphics for the UFC. I've been working on it. It took me 2 fucking days. I didn't realize it was going to be a 2-day operation, but I'm almost there. Almost done. I got a little test run on it. It looks pretty fucking solid. I think you guys will enjoy the new UFC layout that we have. And look, we're just getting started. You guys get ready, man. The Major League Baseball spring training's already underway. About 30 days. We're going to pop off a whole new program here for you guys. And I'll tell you what it's going to look like. Monday through Friday, afternoon shows featuring your boy here, Mikey Money. And why is that important? Because we had a 162 unit golf baseball season last year. 160. Imagine that. Imagine that, Paul and Boats. Here, all given out for free. 162 and it was actually 162 and a half units of net profit. Tried to go for 200. Didn't quite get there. Didn't count the 238-1 back-to-back parlays I gave out on those Fridays. That's 76 units right there. So look, imagine that, 162 and a half units. Now, we're going to be live. Not quite share all the details yet, but it's going to be a lot of fun for you guys. I hope you enjoy. And it's got to be early because baseball pops off early, right? So that means there's going to be some programming changing throughout the summertime, but all here to get everybody paid, man. We got the World Cup on top of that. So, man, these sports seasons, I can't believe it's already the middle of February. Can you guys? Shit, Christmas is right around the corner. So, but it's all good. It's all fun. We appreciate those that do take the time to support us. If you're looking for an extra way to get in the game, you want some extra bets, you want text alerts, you want notifications when I drop plays like the USA and Finland Moneyline parlay, you can go over to Winnable. In fact, if you use promo code NY2026, buy quarterly, buy a 6-month, buy an annual package, it's going to be just over 50 cents a day. And I'm putting out a minimum of 5-6 plays a day. Man, we've been crushing tennis. We've been crushing the Olympics. We're going to get back to crushing college basketball, but we've been doing well in the NHL, of course, the NBA. So check out Winnable if you haven't done so already. At the very least, get your asses over there and sign up for the free plays, man. You don't want to miss out on the free action, and it works the same way. No credit cards required. You just put in your information, and you will be notified when I throw free plays out there. I tend to put out at least one free play every day. It tends to be my first cuts. Plays that I like the most that just didn't make the show or the main card. So you can check it out over at Winnable. Hey, it's Mikey Money here, letting you know the Sports Money team is live on Winnable. Come check out our best bets.
For a low monthly cost, you get the very best bets delivered instantly to your phone by text the moment they're locked in. No delays, no missed lines, just the smartest plays at the best odds.
We do the work, you get the plays, and they're sent right to your phone right when we drop them.
Don't wait, don't guess, don't miss the line. Join the winning team today and start cashing tickets with Winnable.
Man, Twitter needs to get it together. What is going on, and why can't they just put a simple post out there? I don't know why it's going to be so complicated. You get no views. No views on Twitter. Used to rack down a couple hundred. Got 0. Obviously, there's something wrong over on the technology side, but I did release 5 plays, 6, 7 plays actually this afternoon for college hoops over on Winnable. But I'm here to talk to you guys about, I think, 8 plays that really have a great opportunity to get us paid here. Last night, I don't want to use the word bounce back because we broke about even. The sad kick in the dick here with the big difference between being up a unit and being flat was Air Force. Had the under team total 60 and a half. I got 61. Sometimes the hook bothers me and sometimes I just laugh and I'm like, that was just an example where I got too cute. There was no way Air Force was going to go out in New Mexico and compete with all of the aforementioned reasons that we talked about, but we cashed the Xavier Nova game. It went to overtime. We cashed the over with 5 minutes plus left in the game. We lost UNC. The world was on NC State. Good on them. They got it done. I think NC is in trouble going forward. And the easiest play of the day was probably that Miami, Ohio, against UMass, right? -2.5. They busted them boys up by 9. And look, I think there's a couple games that fall under that arrangement today. I was talking to a couple of guys this afternoon. They were talking about some of the other sides. And I said, this game feels exactly like that Miami, Ohio game yesterday. You're laying 2.5 on the road. You're the better team by far. And we'll see if that comes true. That being said, the under did not cash in SMU and Louisville. Kind of could see that one was in trouble along the way. I was disappointed with Whiskey. I still think Whiskey's an Elite 8 team. And I am working on my bracket. You guys might be saying, what do you mean you're doing your bracket? I want to try something new this year. I want to put one together. At least Sweet 16, Elite 8, Final 4, semis, championship, right? That way I can go out there and finagle my way through a couple of brackets. And then UCLA, look, Michigan State, fuck Michigan State into perpetuity. Iowa cashed. That was a nice winner for us against Nebraska. That was a fun game. Back and forth, man. Lots of live betting opportunities. And then the double dip for Arizona State. They won the first half outright. They won the full game outright. Great opportunity for Texas Tech. Now, obviously, JT, it's tough to see a guy go out and bust himself up and finish his season off there like he did. But we cashed. So, to me, that's the measuring stick for us there. Look at that. Instantly, we're popping on the Twitter side of things here. Let me take a second to go over on the sports money side of things and make sure that I get that out there as well. No production crew. So everything is in-house, boys and girls. And I'm excited. I wish I could share with you I wish I could share you the graphics right now. I wish you could see the new program for Saturdays here, but look at Saturday. We're back in action, ready to attack with the UFC, and I'm ready for it, man. That's where we are making some money. I have been a fucking main card champion this year. And even last 2 shows, the prelims have been gobbling up I've been making money over there. So I hope you guys do join us on Saturday. We'll pop off around 5 p.m. Live show on Saturday for the UFC, and we'll roll about 7 hours is what it's going to take down in Houston, for that event, for that UFC event. And what else? Hey, listen, I said this, I joked. I said, what did I say the other day? If you need a player to get hurt, what did I say? I can't remember the situation. I was betting on somebody to do something and they didn't do it. I can't remember. I said, was it fantasy football related? Anyhow, yesterday I gave out the future on Crosby to win the MVP of the tournament here for the Olympics. And then Crosby gets hurt today. Now, some people will argue, was that a dirty hit? That was a stupid play by Sidney Crosby. Sidney Crosby, and I like Sid, the kidney. Take the hit, pussy. And that was an example of take the hit, pussy, in its entirety. He went to duck it. He put his leg down. He got cute. He got popped and he got dropped. He fucked around and he found out. You're too old to take the hits and stop playing the game. That's it. That simple. But hey, 8 a.m. on Sunday will be the gold medal game. Now, there is a gold medal game tomorrow. It is the USA versus Canada. And it is the gals that are going to go out there and lace up the skates and trying to win gold. Interesting line, -2.5 for USA, plus 114. USA has been busting teams up. They have 5 straight shutouts in a row. Sweden and Switzerland will play. This is a low total at 4.5 here. I would be inclined to take a shot with Switzerland as a dog. Why not? Plus 180. But as far as USA and Canada is concerned, USA should win. USA should win in regulation. I'd be inclined to say over 5.5. I know that, look at USA can score 6 themselves. USA is the new Canada when it comes to women's hockey, if that makes sense, if you're picking up what I'm putting down. And so I think there's a couple things to look at now. Golf will be tomorrow. I did want to give you guys the Kalshi breakdown here. I got 3 more golf players, and I think that as we attack it, I told you we're learning in Kalshi. We learned that A, they pay interest, so it's not like you're just losing money by letting it sit in some dormant account. And B, if you're going to do it in golf and futures-related betting, you have to do it between rounds. Can't wait until the round is started, like a true kind of cash-out situation. So we will talk about the players that I have opted to get involved with. And 1, 2. I've got 4 this week. I took 4 in Kalshi. Now, I will not have all 4 of these players for my overall performance when it comes to the actual sports books themselves. But boy, oh boy, look at this. Sidney Crosby yesterday. I bought him with a 92% chance of winning the MVP of the Olympics. He's now got a 4% chance. So, and I just bought Rory. He had a 7% chance. He's now got a 6% chance. So we'll talk about those in just a few mementos if you guys are interested in that. But I want to explore some new things, right? I want to try it out with you guys. I want to see where we can find success factors. And frankly, you got to do it while it's early, right? A lot of people like baseball. You know what you're going to hear is everybody's waiting for baseball season, but they're not going to start betting until May. And then you're missing all the soft lines. You're missing all the opportunities. Yeah, it's not as concrete an opportunity as it could be when you know a team's going to dominate, but you still got to take advantage of those soft lines when they exist. That's why we get excited about the plays. We actually fire on the plays. So that being said, Canada and Finland will play at 10:40 a.m. on Friday. USA and Slovakia will play at 3:10 p.m. on Friday for the men's Olympic semifinals. And the gold medal game, as I mentioned, will be on Sunday at 8:10 a.m. The bronze medal game will be Saturday at 2:40 p.m. So we will be starting our UFC show probably around the third period of that bronze medal game. So stay tuned. Boy, that USA-Finland game was fun, though. Sons of bitches with that fucking Zabinadad goal out there. But I was actually thinking to myself as I was watching the USA kind of hot dog it around there and kind of leave the zone, reconfigure themselves. I thought, are you just getting too cute with it? Just go out there and kill. But listen, far be it from me to challenge them boys, because that was a great goal that they put out there at the end. So that's fun. That's going to bring us around current now. Couple plays that are going on here that let's get to it. Let's talk some basketball. Let's talk some college hoops. I think there's something else I'm missing. And of course, why could I mention this prior to here, but the VB MMA Picks Ramon Scott show is out there for you guys to consume for your preparation for UFC. Hey, it's like a 45-minute show, and you get some of the best in the world, truly ranked in the top 5 in MMA Tips land. A guy put us on that MMA Tips site. We saw the top 5, and we saw that VB MMA Picks is right there. And he's sharing his early looks to beat the books for you guys. The main event, the co-main event, another random spot in there as well. Typically does 3, sometimes does 4. And he brings a guest on. His guest this week is Uncle Weezy. You know him, you love him. Guy's a very analytical feller. And so you can go out there and check that out as well. We will have probably a quick breakdown of main event and co-main event. Probably tomorrow or Friday. Probably throw some shorts together for you guys. Put the shorts on. All right. So let's check it out. If you guys haven't done so, smash the thumbs up button. We will get to work. I will fire off these picks to you guys. We'll keep a brisk pace tonight so we can get the hell up out of here. Gosh, I feel like there was something else I should have mentioned. Golly, gee. Okay, let's talk some Kalshi really quick here. We'll get into this and then we will move on. And some of you guys may be saying, well, I don't care about this. Listen, we're trying to be innovative. We're trying to be the tip of the spear. We want to be the first guys to go there and plant the flag in the new land. So we're going to try this. It's that predictive marketing. It's been a huge trending factor across the marketplace out there. I've got 4 gentlemen, 4 fellas for the Genesis Invitational this weekend. And frankly, it comes down to the fact that we're trying to buy and sell these guys, day trade these guys like stocks. And we want to try to cash out like I should have done with Tommy Fleetwood. These guys have a good round. And the whole premise here is that it's a little bit different than an actual cash out, right? The cash outs really suck. The books take advantage of you guys. Us collectively, if we cash out, they're not offering you a cash out because they're losing money on it. They're scared and they're trying to hedge themselves. But those payouts suck. You know, if you ever looked at like a 5-leg parlay where maybe it's like 20-1 and you've cashed 4 legs and they're only offering you 5-1. Well, the Kalshi program's different because if you cash these things out in advance, as a guy has a good round, you might be able to take, like, for example, last week, Tommy Fleetwood was 3% to buy, 3% chance of winning. After his first round, he went up to 11%. It was over 3.5 times the gain. I should have cashed him out. I don't know. Look, we're learning and trying with Live Dynamite. The first guy I'm going to take advantage of here in the Kalshi programming is our Rory McIlroy. He's going to be roughly 16-1 if he wins. He plays well at Riviera. He's got the power game, and this is a par 5 oriented course. So no reason he can't get himself a couple eagles, get himself running out there. He's trading around 6 cents. So, obviously we know who Scotty Scheffler is and what he's capable of doing. Colin Morikawa snuck him last week, though, so I'll give Colin a little credit. First guy on the card, Rory McIlroy. Second guy I'm going to take a look at are Hideki Matsuyama. And listen, we don't have to go out there and drop a dime on these things. Have some fun. Throw $10 in. In fact, if you use, we're not affiliated with these guys, but there's a ton of promo codes out there. And you can get a bonus, right? $10. Maybe you put 10 in, you get an extra 5 for free, and you can just throw $1 on these guys to have some fun with it. So, not trying to go big. I am not dropping a dime on these guys, but I got enough money to make it worth my while. Hideki Matsuyama, scorching after last spot there. Playoff loss, had himself a shot at the Phoenix Open, Waste Management, and then spent some time in the leaderboard. So he's also been a former champion here. He won just 2 years ago in 2024. And he can go big at any moment. That's how he won the event in 2024. So I thought recent form, course history, give me some Hideki. And Hideki is currently trading at 4 cents. So you can pick up Hideki for 4 cents. I went to Colin Morikawa. Obviously, we saw what he did. He's an LA guy. So, he gets the win at Pebble Beach 2 weeks ago. He plays well on the iron game, and that's a big thing for Riviera because of the firm greens. And look, he's been a runner-up there. In fact, 2022, 4 years ago, this guy was a contender out there. So Colin Morikawa is the third player on my opportunity list. And then the fourth one. Last week, Jeff liked Minwoo Lee to get the job done. I'm going to take Minwoo here. He's trading dirt cheap, too. And, here's the thing. He did have himself a share of the lead last week. That's the position we need some of these guys to be in because he's got a 2% chance. So if he wins, he's 46-1 to win the tournament, right? But if he moves up after the first or second round, he's in the top 10. We're going to crush on this opportunity. So he's definitely the high side guy. He's got the power on the drives, like I talked about with the Rory McIlroy situation. And right now he's playing well. He's got the short game. And, I think this is a good guy. Probably be somebody that's in my first round leader assortment this week as well. So there's the 4-pack for you guys. Colin Morikawa's got a 4% chance. Hideki Matsuyama's got a 4% chance. Rory McIlroy's got a 7% chance. That just went back up to 7. And Minwoo Lee's got a 2% chance. So look, try around. Put $1 on it. Have some fun. Let's see if we can make that money with it. So, and of course, you can certainly go out there and, use these guys as your outright leaders, first round leaders, any assortment that you want to get involved with golf. But I'm trying to have some fun with it. So let's do that. Get your plays in the chat. Let's have some fun with that. I'll fire down the card that I've got with you guys really quick and we'll get up out of here. Nicholas Handy's here. Blake M. Stop Geo in the house. Paul on Boats is okay. I hope I answered that question. I mean, I answered it honestly. Hopefully you can appreciate the answer. Stop Geo Engineering says, hit the like button if you can. Peter Grassi is here. The Solutions checking in. There's 9 Legacy with his paid in full parlay of the day. He's got UNLV, Morris State, Missouri, Mississippi State on the spread, best bet, but Utah plus 10.5, Illinois minus 8.5 for the 9 Legacy paid in full. Jason's here. He says, thanks for the show. I just put down $200 on Lehigh versus Navy under 139. That's not a bad spot at all. Tailed Washington State minus 2.5 and Pacific for 500 or so profit. Should I go ahead and get that sourdough Jack at Jack in the Box or stay? You want to stay, dude. Stay and hear what I got to say. He says, at home hitting up the bologna sandwich and save $9. $9 is it, dude? Shit, man. My McDonald's fucking seems like it's, I haven't been to McDonald's in a minute, but the last time I was there, it was like $16. I was like, what the fuck? I got like a quarter pounder with fries and a drink, and it was fucking not even, I think it was a double. I don't know. Fuck McDonald's. Arizona minus 13, West Virginia minus 11. Honorable mention. I was going to put with it and didn't. I feel like I can eat both tonight until tonight, where I feel the pain of that's what's expected. Shout out to Jay Main in the house. I was just looking here. I was like, where did all these fucking banners come from? Holy shit. Make sure you guys check out the forum here. We are live here at the Sports Money Network on YouTube, but we are also branching out. We have content over on the IG side of things. Frankly, I have been lackluster in that arena. And the reason is there's only college basketball. So I'm not trying to, just force. I like when there's a couple sports to choose from. In fact, one of the formatting changes I thought about was like, do I just take a best bet from each of the 3-4 sports that are going on? But anyhow, I digress. Plenty of time to think about that. Let's think about some action here. Oh, there's the new graphics. Lehigh and Navy. Speaking of, right? I mean, we just talked to our guy here's going to the under. Can respect that. This one's pretty simple for me. I talked to yesterday and had some success and just not trying to overcomplicate some of these spots. By the way, you know what? Let's add Cleveland State to the equation. This game pops off right now. It's plus 11.5. I'm going to put a little action on this game here. And the reason has to do with a couple of things. Frankly, it's Youngstown State. In a favorite role, they're 0-9 ATS. So they're not getting the job done. And I want to fade those spots out there. I know the Horizon and I have a love-hate relationship. But 11.5 points is just a lot of opportunity. That's a lot of baggage to carry if you're Youngstown State. And, look, there's not a lot that separates team from a record perspective. So I know this game's popping off now. I won't spend a ton of time talking about it, but Youngstown State, they're right in that spot that I look for. The inconsistency. They are returning home after 3 road games in their last 4 games out there. And Cleveland State is taking to the road after the opposite situation. But 3 home games after 4, I like a situation where these guys can go on the road and get the job in the cover. I mean, look, Wright State didn't work out for them. They lost by 12. Robert Morris, Bobby Moe, they had a 4.5 point dog spot there. They got thumped by 20. But it's more about current form for Youngstown State and their lack of ability to cover the spread. So I'll slide that one in there. Slide her home for you guys. Boy, oh boy. Look at this card and its glory. There's so many spots tonight. That always makes me nervous. I got to pull it in. I got to rein it in. But I'm going to talk about this Navy game because listen, a lot of people hating on Navy. You caught the Navy bandwagon maybe 3 weeks ago before it was cool to be back in Navy. And they've done us right. Now, they did come down 0.5 point. But here's the thing. They're getting some respected betting here. 37, not the sharp respected betting report, but 37% of the bets and 54% of the cash have come in on this Navy side of things here. It has come down 0.5 point. Got to respect it. Total, it's oscillating around 139.5. You got 69% of the bets and 67% of the cash on the over. But look, man, 21-6. If you're going to be a team in the Patriot, I mean, listen. You want to back a Lehigh team right now? The one advantage that Lehigh potentially has, and it's not much, comes down to the 3-point shooting. But the situation with 3-point shooting. When you put a team like that in that position on the road in somebody else's gym, It gets very squirrely when it comes to them sight lines. And look, at the end of the day, you got to respect it. 10-0 was Navy against the spread if they're a favorite of more than 3.5 points. So yeah, we've been cashing with them. It's correlated, and we're seeing it in the numbers. 10-0 against the spread. 9.5 is a big number, but they are the home team. And I will take a shot with Navy minus 9.5 to open up. Well, I guess it's not really opening up the card. I guess it's the second leg. I like the under. I get you guys with the under. Ramon says, probably doesn't surprise anyone that my standard cheap lunch is bologna and Miracle Whip on Wonder Bread. Yes, I'm 4 years old. I've never been a bologna guy. No, never been a bologna guy. I'll buy some lunch meat and fire down like I had some glorious Virginia baked ham the other day. Virginia baked ham. Some really nice nutritional bread, right? Like some wheat bread that's got that thick shit that's like farmer style, thick oats on the top. Give me some of that. I'm a spicy mustard guy. Recently, I've enjoyed Nance's. I am a Jarlsberg Swiss cheese guy. And listen, sweet peppers, lettuce, red onion, but never bologna. That's my breakdown for you guys there when it comes to it. I'm not a Miracle Whip guy either, Jason. I'm with you there, dude. Give me Hellman's. I'll try Duke's. Duke's recently has caught my ire, but only because the one sub shop I go to uses Duke's and has like shitload of free packets of Duke's. So in any event, I'll talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. Some of you guys probably don't want to talk about my lunching habits, although I didn't have any lunch today. Frankly, I didn't have any breakfast today either. I had a delicious cup of Maxwell House coffee. The diner style. Got to get the diner style. But then Team USA popped off and kind of screwed my afternoon into a little tizzy. UAB and Temple. I'm going to tell you, I was wrong with UAB the other day. Takes a big man to admit when you're wrong here. And we know about fuck Temple, right? In fact, I was wrong about both these teams. How about that? As a matter of fact, I liked UAB in the over. I had a parlay on UAB in the over. Well, that didn't work out. UAB lost outright. Then I had Temple on the money line. And, well, that didn't work out either. So then I live bet Temple. And that didn't work out either. I think I had 2.5 and they lost by 3, or I had 3.5 and they lost by 4. I can't remember what the situation was, but Temple sitting in the favorite role back at home. But look, it's a pick 'em, and the line has come way the F down. They were minus 140. They're now sitting at minus 115, 7 p.m. start there in South Philly. Now, it's really, I don't know. I don't want to get into the Philly debate. I don't really consider it South Philly. It's more like Southeast Philly, or I guess it's the Northeast, isn't it? Technically, Temple's in the Northeast, I guess, technically. In any event, I told the story about when I was driving down the street when I first moved down there, and you come up on it and you see the big brick placard and it says home of Temple. And I looked and I was like, fucking Temple's in this shithole. But anyways, shout out to Temple. 64% of the bets, 70% of the cash are on the UAB side of things here. Probably, look, I think this is a good UAB bounce back spot for sure, because fuck Temple. But I'm not going to get involved in the side here today. I'm going to tell you, I went to the over. Now, I thought the over was the play last game. Obviously, it was not. In fact, UAB's gone under 4 of their last 5 games. But this is where my guy Shark talks about line functionality, right? What I mean by that is this line was 152.5 the last game. It was 161.5 the game before that. It was 153.5 the game before that, and 155. All those games, well, the 155.5 went over against Memphis, but it was because Memphis put up 90 points. Temple, on the other hand, look, they're on back-to-back unders as well. So we're kind of in that position now. And on top of that, the lines come down 3 points. 143s, 143.5s. Mid-range numbers, you take UAB off a loss, put them in a cross-conference game, and they are 11-1 to the over. So I think this is that opportunity where we do take the advantage of buying low. This thing's come down like 15 points in some cases from their highest spot where they were on the over trend. And it's 9-1 in its last 10. So I do like this over. I took the 143.5 UAB and Temple. It's ugly. UAB probably wins. It's my assessment. Fuck Temple. Temple should bounce back. They're at home. Not getting there. Just give me points. And you know what? On a flip side of things out there, let's see what you guys have to say. Lots going on here. The food conversation always gets everybody jacked up, doesn't it? Nasty Nate says, Ken's Honey Mustard or Frank's Red Hot? I'm down with Frank's Red Hot. Ken's Honey Mustard. I had a girl that I used to date that all she wanted to eat when we went out was chicken fingers, and she loved honey mustard. I kind of burned out on it, but I get that. I respect that. I'll tell you what, some honey mustard with the zip tang in it, though. The sharp tang is the way to go. Jason Meyer says, mustard on hot dogs only, or you're not American. I'd agree with that. I'm not a ketchup guy on my hot dog. Nasty Nate says, Strickland Miller parlay for plus 1980. What a great year, 1980. Strickland Miller parlay for nasty motherfucking Nate. Strickland smashes. AOD, mustard, chili cheese, and mayo like ketchup. Interesting. All right, so I went to the over in that UAB game, and I'm going to flip to the under in this Oklahoma and Tennessee game. I told you guys before, I feel like this is one of those situations where Tennessee is just running. They're running the under train, and it's not necessarily, I don't know if it's just something I see. I don't know. I just feel like Tennessee dictates. Now, Tennessee's got a big game on deck. You may have heard a little team called Vanderbilt is coming to town, right? It's kind of a big deal because Vanderbilt is out there kicking ass and taking names in their own right. That also happens to be one of those teams that kind of fell in that I think they smack situation. But do you want to back Oklahoma? Now, Oklahoma's won 2 in a row, so you can't be disparaging around a team that's on a winning streak out there. But so has Tennessee. It's a lofty number. Again, they should cover it. If they score 81 or more, Tennessee's 29-21 though. So it's not like you're not getting the biggest edge, but here's where I was talking about the unders for Tennessee. And this is where I had to do some digging. I had to pull up some trends to see, is it in my head or is it just, I mean, is there something to it? Because I feel like I've talked about some unders in Tennessee games and they've cashed. And so I see this number's gone from 147.5. First of all, the side hasn't moved. It's 11.5. It's 51% of the bets and 61% of the cash. No, not a zilch in the lines of movement, but the total's gone up 2 points, and you have 75% of the bets and 73% of the cash coming in there on the over. You have to respect Tennessee after a win when this team gets it together. I always attribute the win to kind of figuring shit out, and that's where you can start to kind of pick it apart, because it's like, did you sneak by? I mean, they beat the shit. It was LSU, but they beat them up. And it wasn't just beating up LSU. I mean, they took down Mississippi State before that. They had that tough game, 74-71, 1.5 point dogs to Kentucky. All right, that was on the road. They'd thumped everybody before that. So I don't think that this Tennessee get right spot was just attributed to LSU. They're on a winning streak themselves. Now, Oklahoma, their overs have been cashing because they're putting up 90 points. 94-78 against Georgia. That was at home. There's that Vanderbilt game. That was a big one, man. 11.5 point dogs. They won outright. Now, that was a look ahead spot a little bit for Vandy on top of that, but it's Tennessee after a win that continues to roll to the under. In the aggregate, it's winning at about a 57% rate. You might say, well, that's not quite that 60 we look for. It's not. But we're not dealing with a 9-1-10. We're dealing with a 221-171 over 400 game sample. So you give me enough games in the sample, and I'll show you that this thing has some meat to it out there. And I'll take with more games bet at 56%, 57%. I'll take a chance that this thing cracks. And I'm going to take the under 149.5. Actually, I got 150.5. Full disclosure, 150.5. My UAB Temple game was over 143.5. My Navy Lehigh is -9. And I'll tell you this one. I like Ole Miss today. It's not an official play, but I just want to fade Texas A&M. I told you that's just, for me, it's like, these are some spots where it's like, okay, is there a reason for me to want to say that? You know, on the surface, you see a 17-18, but it's like they're falling. They're running out of gas down the stretch. And that's a spot that I want to try to spot situation that I want to fade. They lost 4 straight games. Now, granted, they played Alabama, Florida, and they were at Vanderbilt, but they lost at home to Mizzou. I don't think much of Mizzou. And so Ole Miss ain't been winning shit. They're struggling. But look, Vandy, at Tennessee, at Texas, at home against Bama. That was a tough one. At home against Mississippi State. But I think Texas is a step down in class. And I think you're disrespecting these boys at Ole Miss. Matter of fact, we've been on a nice little run in the heater when it comes to adding some plays out there. I'm fading Texas A&M. Fuck Texas A&M. Respectfully, of course. Let me just get this. Let me get this down. Yeah, 9.5 points is too many. Fuck Texas A&M. Texas Tech, Texas A&M. Those would be some fade spots for me as we roll on in here. But the Ole Miss Rebels, to quote Val Kilmer, the late great Val Kilmer, in a once chronicled story of a young man who had to move out west because of legal problems, made himself a home in a barren wasteland called Tombstone. And one of the best lines in the movie from Val Kilmer: all of y'all can kiss my rebel dick. Let's go Rebels. Fighting Rebs out there. Here's a nice little build-up. Nasty Nate says the best year ever. J-Main says Dukes blow out LaSalle. Terrible. Government cheese, says Nicholas Sandy. I never think I've ever had government cheese. It's not like when you go and get government cheese, they serve it to you and they're like, here's some government cheese. All right, listen. We're talking about fading teams. We got fade Maryland. There's so many spots on this card that I really like, but I wanted to just, listen, when I like a team a lot, when I like a card a lot, I fire away a lot on the card and I end up getting fucked. I'm not in the business of getting fucked. I'm in the business of doing the opposite of that. So, and it doesn't take much to push me in that direction. You know, I'm looking at this overall when you look at, you know, Big Ten deals and, you know, Maryland. Here's a little fun spot for you guys while you're looking at this. People are now talking about the SEC and their winning runs that we've been talking about for a while now. We talked about Big Ten home teams. Big Ten home teams off a road loss playing at home. Well, there's a 56% win rate over the last 4 years, 178 and 144 in that criteria. This is a big number. If there was going to be a spot where I said the line reads to you, look, Maryland unders. Maryland's an under squad. They're 31 and 22 to the other. They just don't score. They're just not out there. Frankly, I don't think they're confident or capable. I think you're willing, able, and committed, right? I don't think they're capable. I don't know how committed they are. I can't judge that because I don't know these players and their workout routines, but we're not seeing it wash itself out in the mix. And Patchy Mix gets let go from the UFC. We should let Maryland go from the Big Ten. Maryland's one of those teams for me. It's like a stymie school. I like them in football, especially when they had the Tungavaloa brother out there. I thought, you know what, this is a team that I could probably get, but they just never find a way to pull it out. Now this line's coming down. It went from 8.5 to 7.5. So I think you're getting a discount. And look, bigger bettors agree with my sentiment here. 88% of the bets, but 65% of the cash have come in on the Maryland side. Now it has come down. Maybe it's the books feel like they just put the wrong number on there, but these two teams are essentially a coin flip. Maryland runs to the unders, and you got Northwestern in the Big Ten bouncing back off a loss at home. Now they're losing consistently, but that's where you have to peel it back and say, wait a minute, what's going on here? I mean, Maryland lost to Rutgers. Start there. Granted, it was at Rutgers, but this is a back-to-back travel spot. They had that Rutgers game. Now, I think if I'm not mistaken, isn't Rutgers tuning up Penn State right now? I thought I saw that. So I won't be too disparaging about the Rutgers organization, but Northwestern had that little travel spot to Nebraska. They fell into the pit. They just lost. They got busted up by 19 points. That's a tough spot because, again, these teams, first of all, you're a coin flip. in terms of your records. And the books are saying it's an 8.5 point game. Even if you give 3 points for the home team, they're saying they're a 5.5 point team better. That's how bad Maryland is, right? But then on top of that, look who Northwestern just faced. At Illinois, at Iowa, home against Michigan, the number 1 team in the land, and then at Nebraska, another formidable competitor that you'll probably see in the quarter and semifinals of the Big Ten. Yeah, Rutgers is busting up Penn State, 39-20. Cleveland State, you fucking scrubs, 21-12. All right. We got a shitload of points in our back pocket, but I'm going to fade this Maryland team. Doesn't take me much to get there. And I think this line at 7.5, again, we're catching it at I used to look at this. It's funny, the evolution, because I used to look at this and say, oh man, it's reverse line movement. What's going on? We got to stay away. But I think now when you kind of see some of these numbers that come out on this thing, you got to just look at it and say, well, fuck Maryland. And fuck Maryland indeed here. Let's move on to St. John's and Marquette. This is a battle. Another big battle going on. St. John's, number 17 in the land, takes to the road. St. John's has been busting teams up, smacking them in the mouth. Don't matter if they're playing at the Garden, they're playing at their little rinky-dink home building. It don't matter. But once the tape's out, there's too much going on in the Big East not to recognize it, right? It's like, this is that situation where it's like, you don't have Duke and Alabama type talent. You got Big East talent. Now, this ain't the old Big East where you had UConn and company in there either. I mean, with respect. But when I say that, what it comes down to is that once the tape's out, when they're expecting a high scoring game, both teams run in the track meet. And it's been evidenced here, 49-19. When it gets to the second half of the season in the Big East, the home teams with 150 plus points, you want to take the dog. The dog correlates to the over in this case. Unranked home teams against high winning conference rivals are 20-13 on top of that. And you're going 8.5 points. This one, to me, I don't think it's wrong team favored. I'm not going to get that crazy and say that, but it wouldn't surprise me if Marquette wins the first half, keeps it tight at home, and then rolls into the second half. Because, from a St. John's perspective, great team, of course. We've seen what's going on here. Is the recruiting bucket running a little thin with these guys? I don't know. 55% of the bets, 56% of the cash have moved on the St. John's side of things. Total's gone up 4 points. The sides come down 2 points. You have 74% of the bets and 75% of the cash here. 20-5, the Red Storm. Call me crazy. I won't have St. John's in my Final Four. I don't think I'll have them in my Elite Eight when I make my own bracket. And I just feel like when you're looking at this Marquette side of things here, their backcourt, I guess, is where I would say their front court's not very strong. That's why they have the record that they have. They're scoring under 76 points a game. That ain't good. That's not bad, but it's not good, right? Kind of mediocre team all around. Shaka Smart, though. I like the coaching edge. And it's just hard to look at this St. John's team. I mean, look, 11 in a row, 13 of their last 14. Doesn't it just feel like that's the trappy little spot there? Like everyone's going to look at it and be like, St. John's going to bust them up, but they're going on the road. So now you're going to put them on the road. You're going to lay a double-digit number. And you got Creighton next at home before you play UConn. So Providence, look, shout out to Providence. They're fucking frauds this year. But that was a big win against UConn that St. John's had. We talked about that. We were on St. John's in that game. That was a home spot for St. Johnny's there. It was at the Garden. Everybody said, oh, UConn plays at the Garden. UConn got fucking thumped in that game. They lost by 9 as a 1.5 point favorite. So I get it. Shout out and kudos here, but second back-to-back spot. They go home for Creighton before they go on the road against UConn here. So the Creighton game, I think, is the tune-up. I think they look past this game, and time will tell. I mean, I don't have any. What I know about this and where I kind of talk about the look past here is they don't run that strong defensive program when they're on the road. Road favorites total over 144. They're 10-0 to the over that next game. So both teams contribute. Dog and over correlates. And I think that we find a spot where Marquette can hang in there. Hang in there is all we ask. Just fucking hang in there, Marquette. Let's move on here. Let's keep it running. 3 games left for you guys. BYU and Arizona. Let's see what you guys have to say. Lots of comments today. Love it. Nasty Nate says, my wrench has changed to a shield. How can I be the mechanic? Has it? Better shield yourself from all that New England Patriots bullshit you were talking. Jason Myers says, roughly a 5-pound block or so that I can remember. Is it like Velveeta? Like a block of Velveeta? Unslices, Nasty Nate. I remember having Velveeta as a kid, and we used to use the, what was it called there? The thread, like the needle and thread there, right? That thin little thread, and use that to slice the cheese. Didn't have a cheese slicer. We used thread, dude. Jason Myers is closer to 7-ish or more, just typing. Let's see what you got. Kelly V's in the house. There's KV. Over Texas A&M, under Navy, and love the under 144 teaser price. First meeting, Navy 182.79 double OT. Loves the under from Kelly V. Hope you're doing well, KV. I'm going to look at this Arizona side of things. Bounce back. Now, I told you guys I like BYU. I'm a recency bias guy. This line's come down. So again, I think we're getting in on a team that we're going to get a little bit of a discount. And the bigger bettors agree with this one as well. It's gone from 12.5 to 10.5. 55% of the bets are on BYU, but 67% of the cash comes in on the Arizona side of things here. Now, I could be reading this line movement wrong here, but I think BYU's played beyond its potential. And I think Arizona's played under its potential. And I think this spot here becomes a nasty clash where Arizona just wants to open it up, rip the Band-Aid off, and spank these boys. 4-5 comes into BYU on the road. It's not overly impressive. I mean, look, it was Texas Tech that beat Arizona. That's why we faded Texas Tech the other day, by the way. That game against Arizona State was because they had that game against Arizona. It was an Arizona State opportunity to go out there and say, let's exact some revenge from the team that beat us if they beat them. And so it was kind of that little ladder spot that we jumped in on and we hammered. Hammer we did. First half and full game. That was the only double dipper spot of the day yesterday too, which is nice to see. On the other side of things, BYU comes in and at Baylor and Colorado. You played a real team in Houston. Houston and Arizona battle fiercely, ferociously. They lost by 11 digits at home to Houston. I don't care about Baylor and your 99-94 win. If anything, I would use that against you. Bottom line is when you get these two good teams here and they have a big spread, they are telling you something. When you have two good teams that meet together, greater than a 75% win percentage, let's just define good. They got to win over 75% of the time. And the spread's over a 5.5. The favorite is out there thumping. 139-89 is that 61% win rate. It is 8-2 in its last 10. It is saying fire away. In fact, if you put a big spread in front of Arizona, they're 63-40. They're not letting you down. Now ask yourself, okay, ranked matchup, home favorite off a spread loss. Well, that's Arizona. They lost outright to that Texas Tech squad. They're 117-92 in a bounce back position. So I like it. The one thing I will say is the over certainly warrants a look. BYU does run some pace. And when they're facing a team that does allow points as well, they're 17-6. So they do meet their end of the bargain, but this game's got like 100-87 feel to it. And if you got in early, you're losing. And if you got in late with me, you're winning here. So I'm not going to break. I want Arizona to take the full opportunity to flood these boys. And look, the bounce back is real. I kind of talked a little bit about the Arizona side of things here. When they're bigger than a 5-point favorite off a loss, didn't cover in consecutive games now. Add the back-to-back. The books start to get uncertain about what number they put on them. And they're 47-24. in those positions out there. So really, your favorites on a losing streak, they're getting priced incorrectly, and so the market ratchets it down. And that's Arizona, 47-24 to come out there and cover this lofty number. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. It's when they're in the pick'em range that we end up taking the F and the L. Jay Main says, can't wait for tomorrow. Can't believe I missed the NBA. BYU second scorer is out, says KV. Nasty Native St. John's in a teaser. KV says Arizona's the only way to go. I just think it's a good bounce back. Bust them up, punch them in the mouth situation. Lehigh playing well, so is Navy. Laid off to +10. I got an under for you guys in the San Francisco battle. And one more, and we'll put the old bow on this show. But a lot of trendage here. Is this a high number? I guess that's what you have to ask yourself to kind of kick things off from a total perspective. Favorites coming off a win, and they scored 90 or more points and made less than 5 threes. In other words, they were dirty in the paint. Are 38-14 to the under their following game. So good spot. Zags opportunity, San Francisco opportunity here. Zags laying a 15 pack tells you that they should probably be putting boots to ass. And that makes an ugly spot for San Francisco. Gonzaga as a favorite. They do run to the over. They're 62-41 on the over. But it's ranked versus unranked. It's prevalent this time of year. The ranked road team against the unranked spot there, 89-58 to the under, because they do throttle that ass. Lower total, catch 7 in a row. Now, this one's flirting because 150.5 is the lower total mark. 9-1 in the last 10. This is right on the edge in the line, but I'm going to take the under. Kelly V says first meeting, Zags were missing 2 guys. I'll get it right. Jason Meyer says, Arizona, my apologies. I don't even know if Arizona State is playing today. No, Arizona State played yesterday. They cashed twice for us, dude. You're all good. And then last, I got this one for you guys. This is probably my favorite spot on the board. I say that gingerly. I wrote down a couple spots for you guys. There's some revenge opportunities here, in-season revenge. North Kentucky, St. Bonaventure, East Kentucky, and then UNLV. So bear that in mind here as I talk to you guys. Oh, shit. Let's fuck that up. My bad. Let me load this up. Man. There's so many games. It makes me nervous. When I like all these games, it gets me nervous. All right. UNLV rolls into this game here, and they've popped 3 in a row, as has Colorado State, in all fairness. Line open at -1.5. It has moved to 2.5. 49% of the bets and 59% of the cash are on the Rebels. Speaking of the Rebels, in the words of a young man that moved out west, became a law man, as it were, in a town that needed badly some law and order, called Tombstone. A befriended man doesn't have many friends. Had a famous line. All of you can kiss my... UNLV comes in here on 3 straight wins. Man, the big one was against Grand Canyon. Outright, 2.5-point dog. With Grand Canyon was coming off that New Mexico game. So a little letdown potentially. They beat up San Jose. They beat up Boise. Colorado State's coming in here. They've won 3 in a row as well. But again, you beat up Air Force. Good job. They have covered back-to-back games, but I'll keep it short and sweet. Mountain West Conference. Keep this one in mind. We talked about the SEC homes. We talked about the Big Ten and bounce back at homes. We talked about the MEACs and the MACs and the unders. Mountain West teams in revenge spots as the home favorite are stomping the competition 72-47. It is a UNLV bounce back spot. I think part of it's attributed to, again, the 3-point game. So there's a steal, an edge defensively in just all around defense. Advantage in stealing the ball. Advantage in forcing turnovers. Advantage in blocks. Do kind of make some excessive fouls, but okay. That's UNLV side of things. Where does Colorado State really, I think, have the edge in this game? It's the 3-point game. It's a good edge. They take more, they make more. But you're going on the road. And that's where we look for those different sightlines, different gym. I think UNLV can hang in with these boys and beat them up. And I think that's going to be the way that we put the bow on this show today, you guys. How about that? We knocked it down an hour on the dot. Thank you guys all for checking it out. Go Team USA. Kelly Visa's Air Force 10-1 to the over. Ian Info, C-Max friend. Air Force should have gotten under yesterday. 60.5 was their team total. They put up a fucking 61. Can you believe that? From the UNLV side of things, I laid the 2.5. I didn't mess with the money line. I just thought this is a really good bounce back, beat them up, kick them in the face, revenge spot. And so they'll get it done. Shout out to Ramon Scott. Says, thank you, Mikey. Thank you, Ramon Scott. I'm going to work on updating your scroll bar tonight so that everything's copacetic for tomorrow. But appreciate all you guys. Make sure you do tune into the morning steam, 9 a.m. and homework assignment. I told you guys, top 5 in the world. VB MMA picks, giving you guys main event, co-main event, 3 plays for you guys to get ready for UFC Houston before we go live on Saturday. Make sure you leave a comment post-show. Tell me, what are you betting tonight? What's your favorite spot? What's your best bet? I'll shout you guys out tomorrow. You get the win. I'll let you know that I saw it. Good luck to everybody. Smash the thumbs up. Check out Ramon Scott tomorrow morning, and we'll be back here at 6.